I just cannot believe that libertarians are still getting duped by the media. Well, for anyone who has not been living under a rock, you know that the 2020 election cycle has got to be one of the most divisive, nasty, and over the top ones out there. And I understand. One of the things that's most alluring about being a libertarian of any kind, of just being outside of the left-right paradigm, of outside the two-party system, one of the best parts is just being able to avoid all that nonsense, just not care, understand that it's all nonsense, that there's something better out there, which is freedom, and that there's better ways to advance things, and that some of these victories we're seeking to have to improve the human condition end up falling on either the right or the left of the political spectrum. Now, unfortunately, I've seen quite a few friends who believe very strongly in liberty up to the point of being full-on anarchists who do not believe in government whatsoever. I've seen a lot of them, unfortunately, start to fall prey to mainstream media narratives, and this is really sad. And I don't just mean following whatever narrative that the mainstream media gives. I also mean the opposite, the reactionary, whether it's believing that we're all going to die and then we need to absolutely stop this monster of a president before he destroys everything by all costs, or whether there's one guy who's standing in the way of a bunch of bad things and the whole world's against him. We absolutely need to support him. There's going to be so much good that happens if we support Orange Man Good. And let me be honest, I don't really care who you vote for or if you vote at all, but you should hopefully vote for something or someone that you believe in and are realistic about that belief. And I think that this is not a very difficult concept for a lot of people to grasp. I think a lot of people who are liberty-minded are already on board with that. The problem is I see a lot of people being suckered into supporting things that they don't actually support. And honestly, this comes from just being plugged in, just focused in on whatever the media narrative is saying. And this is on both sides of it, by the way. It's either listening to the media or reacting to it, but just believing that that is what is important, what isn't important. And it's not one story or one set of facts or opinions that just changes things. It's just the constant day-to-day barrage. If you check the headlines, you go on Twitter, whatever, and then you just see headline after headline of this or that, and then it just starts to get this pattern in your brain. And you are what you consume. There's a reason why propaganda exists. If you keep saying over and over and over the same thing, and the same types of people keep saying that, then you're going to start to believe it. Or you're going to start to believe the opposite and be entrenched opposition. And so when you're exposing yourself to this constant barrage of the news, as it were, then you're going to warp your thinking into something that doesn't really align with your value set. And unfortunately, I've seen way too many people come to think like this. There's too many of my friends who I've seen just think that if we don't get Trump in there, that everything is going to be terrible and that he's immeasurably better and everything is going to go very poorly if the other guy gets in. And there's some people who even more bizarrely are saying Trump is so bad that we got to get this old Biden guy in office. And I know he's terrible on absolutely everything. In fact, probably more things than the other guy's terrible on. But we still have to get him in. And it doesn't matter if he's going to be pretty quickly succeeded by his vice presidential candidate, who's probably worse in every other way. It doesn't matter that we just have to oppose this orange man because he's so bad. And both of those definitely miss the point. And it's not so much of a problem of voting for the wrong person, because there's very few right people to vote for. And even if you vote your conscience, you're likely not going to have much of an impact. But it's a thing of focus and attention. And once you're focused in on this two-party system, and a two-party system that you philosophically do not agree with, and you don't agree with either side, and you're very open about that. But once you get focused on the one versus two, then it sucks all the energy out of the room to actually do good, actually advance good causes, actually improve criminal justice, improve the economic situation, and more importantly, build things that exist outside of this system. Build things like decentralized digital money or peer-to-peer marketplaces, or start working on a self-defense group, or whatever else you want to do to improve yourself and your community and build society out in a non-governmentally dependent way. All that stuff you could be doing, yet you're watching the news, and it's getting in your head, and you're thinking, oh, right versus left, and all this kind of stuff, even if you don't believe either side or believe in either side, as long as you're looking at both sides. So what can you do about this, huh? Turn off the goddamn news. I'm serious. It's not just the TV. Oh, Fox News, CNN. You see it on Twitter. You see it on wherever else. Wherever you just start getting all this stuff, gloss over it. Just don't care. Look into other things. Start unfollowing sources that give that. Start following or whatever else, curating a timeline on whatever platform you're on that has other kinds of content. If you have your friends and they're always talking about, yeah, man, I don't know about this Biden guy, or oh man, this Trump who just got a... Okay, not saying don't have friends, but like talk to them about different things. Have different people in your life that will talk to you about things that aren't related to those two things. Right, left, right, left. And it doesn't mean you can't glance over some headlines once in a while, read an article, read another one for balance, but you just dilute how much of that is in your brain. It can't just be everything that's going in your brain, constantly creating a state of fear and anxiety and obsession over something that fundamentally does not matter. Unplug yourself from the matrix. It's the old, tried and true, cliche, stupid analogy. But get out. Be free. You believe in freedom. Now act free. I'm challenging you.